Today's story begins with loud exclamations, an admiring wah that echoed throughout the area of one magnificent palace. The little girl, without taking her admiring eyes off, called Adelia very beautiful. The girl also thought that today she looked simply irresistible. The little girl asked if she had already met Lucian. The older brother would faint when he saw her, and the girl replied that she had not yet, because the bride and groom should not see each other before the wedding. "Aren't you worried?" the girl asked, because she herself was worried. The girl replied that, of course she was worried, and even more than she expected, her heart was beating wildly. Then the baby extended her arms to her to calm her down. She is sure that today Adelia will shine brightest and everyone will envy her. And if something happens, it will only benefit her. The girl opened her eyes wide at the baby's unexpected gesture. Smiling brightly and sincerely, she thanked her for the support she had shown her. Adelia could not take her beautiful eyes off this baby and could not help but be surprised. How can this young Princess Ariana be so cute? Her hair was so beautiful that it directly resembled soft pink cotton candy. And her eyes, they shine such a bright red color like luminous rubies. And her cheeks are so soft like fluffy marshmallows that you just want to bite them. Adelia still can't believe that she and Princess Ariana will soon become a family. It all seems like just a dream to her. Adelia and Ariana were having a nice conversation and having fun. Soon there was a knock on the door, which meant it was time to go. It was Adelia's long-awaited appearance, and she didn't seem nervous at all. The large hall was beautifully decorated in honor of such a solemn and significant event. A red carpet was laid out on the floor, and the thick scent of flowers hung in the air. The girls who were in this room whispered in a frenzy of admiration for the beauty of the emerging bride. The men were jealous that such beauty was not theirs. A tall, stately man led his beautiful bride to the altar. This incredibly beautiful couple, attracting all eyes, approached the priest waiting for them. In the front row sat the most important guests, a dark-haired teenage boy, an older man with the same dark hair, and Ariana, who was the most happy. Adelia took a rather decisive step into their family. "Let us begin the sacred wedding ceremony under God's protection," the clergyman proclaimed. Adelia did not expect to become crown princess so soon. By the way, her husband is very handsome. Not that she was surprised by this. The girl grinned at her thoughts. Still, we are talking about this imperial family. Adelia felt as if she were in a garden full of beautiful flower boys, and dreaming, she did not hear the clergyman ask her a question. The old man's delicate cough brought the girl out of her reverie, and she yelped in fear. The future husband asked her to answer, and the clergyman repeated the question. Does she swear, Adelia Vita, to change her surname and take Lucian Callum Decrack as her lawful husband? And the girl answered in the affirmative. Then please sign this contract. The old man handed her the paper. She is no longer Adelia Vita, but Adelia Rebecca Decrack. Once a drop of blood sprinkles this contract, they will finally become legal husband and wife. A drop of the man's blood fell on the line with his name. Now it's the girl's turn to sign, and she extended her finger to the special bird. One small prick and a red drop appeared on the index finger. A bloody signature covered the name on the paper, but Adelia opened her eyes in shock, where her name should have been written Kimbada. Where did this name come from? The girl was seized with panic, but as soon as she blinked, Adelia Rebecca Decrack was written on the paper again. What was it? Adelia thought tensely. What if she was discovered? The ceremony continued, but the girl's thoughts were far away. It immediately disappeared without anyone noticing, and she tried to concentrate on the wedding. She closed her eyes, bringing her feelings and heartbeat into order. I name Lucian Callum Decrack and Adelia Rebecca Decrack, husband and wife, blessed by God himself, echoed throughout the hall, and the girl opened her eyes. South Korea, year 2023. Kim Bada, a 28-year-old girl. She worked as a developer in a small company, and one evening, as always, she stayed late working in the office. Suddenly, a drop of blood fell on the keyboard, then a second, a third. The girl did not understand what happened, why her nose started bleeding out of the blue. Then the whole world went blurry, and the girl fainted from exhaustion. And when she opened her eyes, she became Adelia Vita, a minor character who was destined to die in her favorite novella, The Princess Preparation Diaries. It can't be. I can't believe it. The girl stared dumbfoundedly at her face in the mirror. I am Adelia, the same Adelia who dies of cardiac arrest without a single line of dialogue. She is not just some minor character, but someone who is destined to die, and with zero importance to the story. Isn't The Princess Prep Diaries supposed to be a happy story about a princess being loved by her family? Hell, of all the characters, why was she destined to wake up as Adelia? It looks like she'll die as soon as she was reborn. The girl's hands crumpled the sheets in impotent anger. That's why it's always like this in her life. Why it's always her. These were questions without answers. But she did not want to die. The girl resolutely refused to face another miserable death. "Pull yourself together, Kimbada," she said to herself. "This is not the time to mope." She quickly got out of bed and went to the table. It's unclear how it all happened, but she needs to write down the story before she forgets it. Without thinking twice, the girl opened the notebook and took hold of the pen. The Dikrak Empire, a divine force, an evil genius. She tried not to miss anything, while at the same time thinking that there must be some way out. Suddenly, an idea came into her head. In the original story, the villain had incredible power, the greatest in this world. White magic. If only she could use it. She wants to live at least once for her own happiness, even if in someone else's body. Adelia is confident that she can find this strength and will definitely take advantage of her chance at life. So in order to survive, the girl decided to take possession of white magic before the villain in history. In the dead of night, with the moon shining brightly, she went to a mysterious place. This is the place that was described in the novel. Step by step, the girl walked the entire cave, and she ran into the wall. This was the end of the cave. But she is sure that the villain in the novel was talking about her. "I want to find an ability that would combine the greatest power of light and the source of all power on earth," she said. There was a deafening roar, and a door appeared right in front of her, as if woven from bright sunlight. "Who are you?" came a question from behind the door. And the girl replied that she was Adelia Vita, although in the first seconds the voice seemed strange to her. "It's strange," the voice continued. "It seems like there's something more in you." As she thought, the Guardian of Light is able to see the true essence of a person. Two huge, yellow, ominous eyes appeared right in front of the girl. "Kimbada," said the voice, and the girl clenched her fists. But she had already prepared for everything. She had nothing to fear. So she calmly answered that that was her original name. The guard was surprised. 2 names. Maybe she was blessed by the Lord himself. But the girl defiantly replied that perhaps he would be able to understand this as soon as he met her in person, which obviously interested him, since the guard allowed her to enter, and the door opened heavily. The girl took a few steps forward, surprised by the view that greeted her. Throughout the large hall, here and there, lay piles of gold, jewelry, and other valuable items, and in the middle rested a sacred sword. The girl could not hide her surprised exclamation, "Wow, I wonder how much money there is here. Are you more interested in these simple gold coins than the sacred sword or me?" the guard asked with contempt. "What a stupid little man." After these words, the girl's eyes opened in bright light and surprise. A huge golden glowing wolf stood in front of her. Well, what else did he expect from a person? She asked the guard with a bit of irony. And the wolf continued that too much time had passed since he last met any of the people. He is a creature known as the Guardian of Light. "What brings you here?" he asked the girl. "Come on," Adelia answered quietly. "You already know why I'm here." "Guardian of the Light," she said, smiling and extending her hand. "Please grant me white magic." No one gets to choose their parents, and she was no exception. Her mother died giving birth to her, and her father blamed her for everything and constantly raised his hand against her, calling her a parasite. Every day was a living hell, and the princess training diaries were the only ray of hope that kept her from giving up. The main character had a wonderful life. Everyone loved her. Little Kimbada held on to the hope that maybe one day she could live like a princess. But her life was cut short so absurdly. And when she miraculously woke up in the body of the heroine of her favorite short story, she thought that God had finally given her a chance. She believed that she could live at least once a normal life in a loving family. And her faith in this became more and more every day. Exactly until the moment she found out that the owner of this body lived the same terrible life as her. Amelia lost her birth mother, Countess Vita, at a young age. And after the Count brought home his mistress and her children, she became a minor character, abused by her family. She was beaten so that no traces were left, and even Count Vita asked the family to make sure that there were no traces before playing with the girl, otherwise they would not be able to sell her. Little Adelia was treated very poorly. A life full of abuse ended in a miserable death. Such was the fate of Adelia Vita. But if she gets white magic, she will be able to live the life she wants even in such a body. "No," the guard interrupted her, "you can't get white magic." Adelia did not expect such a categorical answer. The guardian continued, Does she really think that she can really accept white magic in her current physical state? It is impossible. The girl began to assure that she could, if only he would give her a chance. "No, you can't," the guard said firmly, "so stop wasting my time and leave, and never meddle here again." Adelia could not believe that she was not able to accept white magic and therefore had to leave, because she was not even allowed to try, but was already being asked to surrender. She was never given a single chance. She was simply born weak, always too young, powerless. The realization that she could never do anything fell over the girl like a dark veil. But now there is a chance, and it's just a stone's throw away. "I refuse to give up like this," the girl firmly decided. The guardian of light, who was watching her thoughts with interest, exhaled heavily. It seemed that the stupid little man with a vulnerable heart believed that her fragile body was suitable for white magic. "No, forget about strength, otherwise you will only die from the side effects." "Simply put, such a weakling like you," the guard began, but they didn't let him finish, unceremoniously calling him a dog. The guardian of light was taken aback by surprise. How dare she address him like that? But the girl interrupted him again, firmly saying that maybe because he was an animal, he had no manners at all. The guard's powerful paw hit the ground with tremendous force. He became angry, ordering the man to shut up. He asked how dare such a lowly creature talk to him like that. The girl mockingly asked if he was really thinking of attacking her. But she is almost sure that the guardian of light cannot harm people. He was hurt that she knew this. The guardian of light is an immortal being who protects the power of white magic. From the very beginning, he was created taking into account the fact that he could not harm people. Any fan of the novel knows this simple fact, the girl thought, and self-confidently invited the guard to try if he wanted. The wolf couldn't believe that the person who entered here for the first time in the last 300 years turned out to be such an arrogant fool. She probably needed white magic for her own stupid reasons. "I'm going to die soon," he heard, and his ears involuntarily perked up, ready to listen. Adelia didn't even have the power to escape this fate, so she just wants to try to extend her lifespan with white magic, and maybe get revenge on a few more humans along the way. Everyone who came earlier gave different reasons. Unite the whole world, become a god and rule everything, build a new empire. But her reason seems the most realistic and honest he's ever heard. "And one more thing," the girl added, "she will achieve such an authority that will free her from all looks down on her, so that she can live as she pleases." And when the guard asked if she wanted to win the throne, Adelia explained that while she did temporarily plan to become part of the imperial family, this was not the authority that she planned to gain. She means something that everyone respects equally: money. She no longer wants to be miserably used or treated like an object. Now Adelia will begin to live happily and do what she wants. The guardian liked her ambition, but asked what she would offer him in exchange for white magic. He was imprisoned here forever, protecting white magic, so he must be interested in the outside world, Adelia thought, and said that this would probably be the best thing he had ever received. She will let him see her memories, because no one in this world can see her memories. Grunting disdainfully, the guard invited her to look around. This is what people offered in exchange for white magic, and she offered some kind of memories, and not for full possession, but just to look. But the girl was sure that her memories would entertain him much more than any other person, because she used her first name in her previous life. She can guarantee that he's never seen anything like them, so she'll just show them off instead of giving them away. The guard wondered if there really was something there that he had never seen. Then it would be a fair deal, but how could he trust it? Adelia sighed heavily. She was going to show them to him personally, since he is a guardian of light and all that, because these are priceless memories. He was convinced that the girl wanted to show her memories to him on purpose. Are they really so priceless? And Adelia confirmed this. They are one of a kind. Okay, since you insist so much, the guard even wagged his tail with pleasure and seemed to blush a little. But remember, he warned the girl, white magic has the power of purification, and you can use it like ordinary magic, especially for healing and protection. However, she is different from other people, so there will be side effects, and Adelia asked if they could kill her outright. But the guard replied that most likely everything would not be so terrible. Great, until I die, the girl beamed. You really are a strange person. The guard leaned his head against the girl's forehead. He decided to trust her, because he was very curious about what kind of white magician she would become. The guardian of light transmitted white magic to Adelia. She felt it as something warm and pleasant, and everything around was